Okay. Let's talk about the game of the year. Game of the year is insane this year. Just look at this lineup here. I mean, I have not played all of these games, admittedly. But you have Clair Obscur, you have Silksong, you have Hades 2, and Death Stranding 2, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza, since I suppose that they actually wanted to throw in a Nintendo title of some kind. Wait, and Ghosts of Yotei should be on here, right? Or was Ghosts of Yotei not nominated for Game of the Year? Huh. Yeah, I suppose it didn't. I think we all realistically know that Clair Obscur is gonna win. There's no, like, I like Silksong, alright. I know Hades 2 is probably good as well, but it's gonna be Clair Obscur. Let's just be honest with yourselves and have to save us the trouble of actually, you know, even having to discuss it, basically. The other thing I did want to talk about, though, here, is the Golden Joystick Awards, because I think their categories are a lot more fair when it comes to compared to the Game of the Year awards. What I like about this is that they break the indie games up by self-published and by, like, Best Indie as well. They actually have, like, an Ultimate Game of the Year as well. So, you know, we get Blueprints, yay. We get the recognition that it deserves from a Best Indie game. And then we have Hollow Knight Silksong, of course, as well, which is Best Indie Game self-published, which makes sense, because it's literally a team of 3 people. Best Storytelling, Best Visual Design, that's absolutely going to go to Clair Obscur, there's no question about it. PC Game of the Year is also Hollow Knight Silksong. Great, like that, a lot. Critics' Choice Award is Donkey Kong Bonanza, which sure, you know what, sure. Ghosts of Yotei also got a win, as well. You know, Console Game of the Year. Ultimate Game of the Year is Clair Obscur, of course, but Ben Starr and Jennifer English getting Best Supporting Performer and Best Lead Performer, honestly, is such a freaking great win, honestly, for both of them. I think they both do an incredible job. Especially Jennifer. Jennifer English is just, like, fantastic for the role. She does it so well. And then Peak as well. Best Multiplayer Game, Peak is... I have not played it, but I've heard it looks like a lot of fun, to be honest. But yeah, Game of the Year is going to be Clair Obscur. I mean, there's just no question about it. I think, out of all the games that might have a shot, I think Silksong probably would have the best opportunity to beat it. But again, those are the only ones I've really played. Let's talk about Best Game Direction. Best Game Direction, probably also Clair Obscur. No question. Absolutely no question. I actually like Split Fiction's design quite a bit. I think the aesthetics and the way that they used... Actually, I might be getting Game Direction and Art Direction confused. I don't know if there is a category for Art Direction, to be honest. Which is concerning, because I've already put in my votes for this, but we'll get into that. To be honest, all these games have spectacular direction, to be honest. I think there is one option, though, that is above the rest, and really... I mean, so it's hard. It's hard, because in my mind, it's like... I feel like all of these titles have pushed the boundary when it comes to what makes a video game in some way. I've only really seen stuff about these 2 games, though. I have seen, like, Ghosts of Yotei looks really cool, don't get me wrong. And Death Stranding also looks like... I don't think I played the first game. I have played a bit of Hades 1. But these 2 games in particular, I think, are probably the best directed out of these 5. Again, I'm biased. I'm sure that Death Stranding 2 as well. Best Narrative, I mean, I think I voted for Clair Obscur. Silent Hill F, though, I do think is really, really interesting from it's a much more grounded story from my understanding, at least. And I think that, you know, everything, I haven't seen that much of it, but it does look fun. Best Art Direction. Okay, so this is one of the topics that I wanted to talk about. For outstanding creative and or technical achievement, artistic design, and animation, I think Split Fiction should have been nominated here. Honestly, I think they could have done away without Silksong being nominated here. I'm sorry to all the Silksong fans out there, I just don't think the art is that... Like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but when we're talking about games that are pushing the boundaries of what art direction looks like, I think Clair Obscur and Split Fiction both stand out as just absolute standouts because they do so much. You know, in particular, I think both of them are built on Unreal Engine 5, and, you know, honestly, it took me playing Clair Obscur to really understand, oh shit, Unreal Engine 5 is insanely powerful. Unreal Engine 5 is very powerful out of the box, but if you really, really want to push things, if you really want to get the best bang for your buck, then you learn the nitty-gritty details and you learn how to optimize things in such a way that you can render super, super intricately detailed into really cool set pieces and designs, and do that in such a way that is really unique, honestly. I think, like, you know, and Split Fiction runs the gambit of pretty much every single setting that you can imagine possibly, but the design of the game is so fucking cool. And, like, again, I don't mean to shit on any of these games, don't get me wrong here, but I think, like, Clair Obscur and Split Fiction both push the boundaries of art direction. Oh my god, I remember looking at the assets that they built for Clair Obscur, though, it's like, holy shit, it's insane. The amount of detail that they put into that game, though, goes above and beyond what any game, theoretically, I think, like, there are very few games like it, and I can... You know, I have a bit that I did about the Arc de Triomphe model that they used in-game, and how accurate that thing is to the real Arc de Triomphe, which is fucking insane. How detailed it is. That's why I think Clair Obscur ultimately deserves the win. Again, I didn't mean to shit on Silksong earlier when I said that it's probably the weakest out of these. Well, I mean, these two probably the weakest out of these four. And these five. I hesitate to say that too. I know that's going to put me in a bit of hot water. Because I know, at the end of the day, I know that these are pretty much 2D or isometric games, whereas these are fully 3D, and Split Fiction is fully 3D. I get that. I'm not disputing that Silksong is a pretty game. But this specifically says, for outstanding creative or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Well, in animation, I think, you know, Silksong definitely does that pretty well. All things considered. I think the art, like, again, there's so many good games out here. Like, if I could vote for all of them, I would vote for all of them in this category alone specifically, because the art direction for some of these is insane. Let's talk about, this is the one I really wanted to talk about here. I had a whole scripted part of a video for this category specifically, and I completely forgot everything that I wrote down for this category. Number one, all of these composers are fucking nuts for how good of composers they are. It's insane. Actually insane. Number two, Mario Kart World soundtrack was absolutely fucking snubbed for this category, and I will not... That's the biggest hot take I have about this frickin' entire awards ceremony, frankly. The amount of fucking songs in that game, it is at least a 8-hour soundtrack bare minimum, and all of them are bangers. I don't care if they're not technically original music. It doesn't matter, because it's like this, oh, Jesus Christ, like it gets into the specific wording of this category. Like, what can you really do in those instances, to be fair? What can you really do? Like, Christopher Larkin, fantastic soundtrack. Darian Korb, fantastic soundtrack. Lorien Tessera, outstanding soundtrack. Love My Boy Woodkid as well. And Blueprints as well. Blueprints was the other outlier of this. I think Blueprints has the music isn't necessarily something that you really think about when you're playing through that game, but I do think the music is iconic in its own way. But fucking Mario Kart World is not nominated for Best Score in Music. Really is just like... What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Best audio design? I mean, I don't really have any strong opinions about this, to be honest. I think Clair Obscur's design is alright. I don't think it's necessarily anything too spectacular. It is very, very good, don't get me wrong. I just don't know that much about the category, to be honest. Best performance, oh my god. Like, Konatsu Kato, fantastic job. She did a fantastic job. Troy Baker did a fantastic job as Indy as well. Jennifer English says, I really hope that she wins this. I voted for her. I really hope that she wins this, because she just did, like... She's basically playing she is playing, well, I suppose... spoilers for Clair Obscur, she plays two characters in the game. Innovation and accessibility, games for impact. I don't really have a whole lot to say about those two. Best ongoing, it's probably Final Fantasy, to be honest. I don't really know a whole lot about the game. Best community support, I mean, on my backlog, of course, and my friend will give me endless flack for not doing it. Best independent game. This is where things get complicated here, right? Because this, like, for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Here's the thing about this, right? Clair Obscur, I just don't think it falls into that category. I mean, I just don't think it's really a good pick for this particular category, to be honest with you. I don't think it is. I mean, it is technically independent, yes, but it's the problem of the distinction of, hey, Clair Obscur had like $1 million plus budget, like multiple $1 million. Like, they had a team of about 30 people, which isn't like massive or anything, but that's not a large number of people by any standards, but you know, they had, it still feels very much like the traditional publisher system, I would say. Blueprints, I believe, was made by another small team, and that game took like 7 years to make. Hollow Knight Silksong was made by 3 people over the span of 7 years. Like, if any game I want to win, it's not going to be Clair Obscur in this category. I think everything else I would be fine. I voted for Blueprints because I love Blueprints. I think Silksong got another nomination at some point that I also voted for. I do want to play these 2 games as well, Absolum and Ball Pit. I think they look very fun. I still need to play Hades 2 as well. I still need to finish Hades 1. All that good stuff for 2026 probably at some point. Best debut indie game. So Dispatch, I think I voted for Dispatch because it's really nice to see that they got a shout out as well. It doesn't really do a whole lot that is revolutionary, but I think the things that it does very, very well, I will say. And same thing goes for Clair Obscur too. Same thing goes for Blueprints. I fucking love Blueprints. I had the thought yesterday of, you know, because I tend to downplay the importance of this game to me specifically. You know, and there's a lot that you could say about that, but it's like, I literally was like, could not fall back asleep because I was thinking about Blueprints. That's how much I love this game, and how iconic it is, and how it is literally just like, it's kind of embedded its roots in my psyche by and large, and how, like, it's just, it is probably going to end up being my go-to comfort game, honestly. It really is. It's like, it's just it is fascinating. Best mobile game, I put the Horse Girl game because I have not played it, admittedly. I don't fucking know. I think it's just hilarious. I really want this game to win, to be honest. That'd just be funny for me. Best VR AR, I have no idea. I don't really care that much. Best action game. I have not played any of these, so I really can't say, to be honest with you. Best action adventure. I did vote for Silksong, I think, as well. I would not change that for the world. I have not played Ghosts of Yotei. Don't have a PlayStation. I have not played Death Stranding 2. Don't have a PlayStation. I've seen people play Indiana Jones The Great Circle. Looks very fun. Looks like a great time. Love my Indiana Jones, and I did not realize how much we needed a game about punching Nazis in 2025 as we did when I watched someone play through this game. So, peak. Fantastic game. Best RPG, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a given at this point, you know. It's like, this is gonna sound weird to say this, and I need to actually figure out how to properly describe this right, but I think, you know, one of my favorite RPGs of all time is Pokemon Black and White 2. I think they are legitimately the best Pokemon games ever made, and one of the best RPGs ever made. To Clair Obscur, for me, I think it's the closest game that I've played ever that has reached that bar of, you know, ticks off all the boxes of what I would want in an RPG, and it's just like, it's so well done. And yeah, I know that's the very basic answer, I get it, but what am I if not basic, for the most part? Fighting games, I don't really care that much about it. Family games, I mean, I only realistically played one of these, and I don't want this game to win anything because, Jesus Christ, I hate it. I had fun with it, right? Don't get me wrong. I had a blast playing this game. Truly, I think... No, I'm sorry, I'm considering my life choices for a second here. No, I still wouldn't vote for it. I would just not vote for this category. I think I did vote for... I would probably vote for Split Fiction, to be honest. I really hope I didn't vote for fucking Mario Kart World. It's fun, don't get me wrong. I hate the prospect of it winning any categories at all. Just my personal opinion. Like, yeah, I had fun with it, but I literally, I had fun with it for about the span of, a month, maybe a month and a half, and then I have not played the game since, pretty much, because it's not even necessarily the fact of I am personally choosing not to play this game because of the other bullshit that Nintendo is doing. I mean, part of it is that, but it's not the main reason. I would go back to playing it if there was a reason for me to do so, but it's just like, I think it's kind of one of those things where it's just, we had fun, moving on, there's a lot more stuff to do. This is best simulation/strategy. I think Sid Meier's is probably going to win, just because I know that this game has been a powerhouse, like this whole series as well, to be honest. I don't know, man, a lot of it goes over my head. I don't think I voted for this category, to be honest. Best multiplayer, I think I voted Peak. Again, I have not played that game, but I think the design of Peak is literally probably one of the most innovative that I've seen in a video game so far. I think it's the same logic behind what Phasmophobia did for a lot of co-op horror games as well, and kind of pushing that bar, to be fair. This is actually a very curious category, because I wanted to look at, like, I don't know if Phasmophobia or Lethal Company won. I think Lethal Company, I remember Lethal Company winning multiplayer. Baldur's Gate 3? Huh? That's bizarre. I mean, sure, it does have multiplayer. I don't know. Lethal Company wasn't even nominated? What? I swear, if Phasmophobia wasn't nominated, that's a fucking crime. Because that game, that was 2020. I mean, so, admittedly, I think 2020 was a bit of a wash because Among Us probably won Best Multiplayer Game. I think there's really no disputing that, to be honest, but I do think It Takes Two. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Best Multiplayer. Yeah, Among Us. But Phasmophobia didn't even get fucking nominated? Okay, Best Debut Game. Okay, so they did win that. Okay, that makes sense. Like, okay, cool. It's like, if Phasmophobia didn't win anything, then that is a crime. Oh, the other hot take that I can say. Shit, okay. Yeah, I think that's the right call for... That's the other thing I will say. I'm nothing if not a Last of Us Part 2 defender. It's a good game. It sucks. It's a good game that sucks. It's the same opinion I have about The Last of Us Part 1. Like, it's a good game that is hell to play through, and you are not meant to enjoy any second of what you're doing. That's the hot take that I will say about that. So, that tangent aside, Peak, I think, for that. Best adaptation. Fucking Sonic 3 did not get a nomination here. That's, again, I think that's one of the other snubs of this season. Not this. No, absolutely not this. People who liked The Last of Us 2, the game, not liking the Season 2 is a very bad sign, I will say that. I think it's probably going to be a Minecraft movie. I think that's just be funny, you know? It'd be very funny. Best anticipated game... Oh shit, Insomniac is making the Wolverine game. That's really cool, actually. I don't care that much about Grand Theft Auto. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's my own personal opinion. Yeah, I think Wolverine. I think, like, because the funny thing about it is that I've not really... Like, I've played a Resident Evil game, I've played The Witcher 3, at least in part. I think 007 would also be cool to play because I haven't played a game like that before. Suppose that also goes for Grand Theft Auto, to be honest, but again, it's not my personal thing. Content Creator of the Year. I think I gotta go with Charlie here because I don't know who these other people are, to be honest. As chronically online I think I am, I don't think I'm actually that chronically online. This is best esports game. I do not care, but I hope it's not League. To be honest, that's the only thing I care about. Best esports athlete, I don't know. Best esports team, I don't know. Favorite game of the year, players' voices of 100% fan voted the Warrior across 3 rounds. Fucking Genshin Impact. No, stop. Stop. Please, God, no. Between these two games, which of these made me suffer more? The funny thing about it is that I realized that I've been working on a script for a video specifically about talking about my dumbass behavior in video games, and I think both of these challenged that in different ways. Silksong definitely made me fucking miserable, but I don't think Clair Obscur had that same impact, but it definitely was like not the easiest thing in the world. Again, that was my own fault though. That was my own fault. Shit, I think it's gotta be Clair Obscur. I mean, it's gonna be Clair Obscur, whatever. That's you know, my picks. I know Clair Obscur is gonna absolutely sweep, and they deserve the love. They really do. it's really, like, the amount of fucking insane games that have come out here this year, though, is quite literally crazy, to be honest. I think, I've been loving it, I've been loving it.